Level 1, the applicant. You're standing in an empty apartment that isn't yours yet. 600 square feet, eggshell walls, the color landlords choose because it hides everything. The agent hands you a form and a pen. The form costs $50 to submit, non-refundable. You pay just to be considered. They run your credit. A number appears on a screen you can't see. 640. The agent's mouth does something small. Not a frown, a recalculation. She says, you'll need a co-signer, or first, last, and security up front. 3 months to hold a place you will never own an inch of. $4,200, and then an extra month because your score made them nervous. $5,600 to be allowed inside. You don't have $5,600, you have $3,000 in a story about why you're good for it. The landlord doesn't read stories, the landlord reads numbers. 2 days later, a text arrives. Approved with conditions. You're so relieved to be approved that you thank them for charging you more. You move in. The carpet has a stain shaped like a country. You mention it. They say it was noted at the last move out, meaning it's yours now, meaning when you leave, they'll check if it grew. You don't have a home at level 1. You have permission, and permission can be revoked. Level 2, the tenant. 12 pages. You sign 9 of them without reading. Everyone does. The lease isn't written for you to understand. It's written for you to agree. Rent is $1,400 due on the 1st, late on the 2nd, $75 after the 3rd. The cat is $500 extra non-refundable plus $50 a month in pet rent for an animal that weighs 6 pounds. You can't paint, you can't drill, you can't change the locks even though 3 strangers before you held this key. The sink clogs in March. You submit a request. The portal says received. Nothing happens. You submit again. A man comes in 9 days, looks at it for 4 minutes, says he'll order a part. The part never comes. You buy a $9 snake from the hardware store and fix it yourself. In the home, you pay $1,400 a month to be allowed to stand in. Then the showing. Strangers walk through your bedroom while your clothes are on the floor. They open your closet. They photograph the bathroom. You stand in the kitchen and watch people evaluate the inside of your life like it's a product. Because to them it is. The lease doesn't see a person at level 2. It sees a payment with a pulse. Level 3, the lifer. You've been good 12 months, never late. You assume that earns you something. It earns you a letter. Rent is going up $150. No reason given. The market, they say. The market is just a word that means they can. You do the math. Moving costs more than staying. New deposit, new application fees, a truck, 2 days off work. They know this. The increase is calculated to sit just under the cost of leaving. That's not an accident. That's the entire design. So you stay. You pay more for the same apartment with the same stain shaped like a country. You ask if the higher rent comes with anything. New appliances, a repair, anything. The answer is a polite no. The dishwasher that broke in year 1 stays broken in year 2. 2 years in, you've handed them more than $30,000 and the place is worth less than when you arrived and you own none of it. Then you notice something. Every dollar you pay makes someone else's asset bigger. Your rent is someone's mortgage. Your check pays down a loan with your name nowhere on it. You're building equity, just not yours. You're not a tenant at level 3. You're a line of revenue in a spreadsheet you'll never see. Level 4, the buyers. Something changes, not in how they see you, in what you decide to become. You stop paying down someone else's loan and start saving for your own. It takes years. You eat at home. You drive the old car. You say no to things you wanted. You walk into a bank and ask what you can afford. The number is smaller than you hoped, and the process is longer than you imagine. They want pay stubs, tax returns, 2 years of statements, an explanation for a $400 deposit from your cousin. You give them everything. They approve you for a number with a rate attached. 6.9%. You find a house, small, older, a yard the size of a parking spot. The mortgage is $1,600 a month, more than your rent. And for the first time, the math runs the other direction. $1,600 that comes back, $1,600 that becomes yours slowly, brick by brick. You close on a Tuesday. They hand you a folder and a key. The same act, a key in a hand that meant permission at level 1 means something else now. You stand in the empty living room. The walls are eggshell. You can paint them any color you want. You don't, not yet. You just stand there owning the air. You're not approved at level 4. You're an owner, and ownership doesn't expire on the first of the month. Level 5, the owner. The shift is quiet but total. The first repair lands in month 2, the water heater, $1,200. There's no portal to submit a request to. There's no one to call but yourself. You pay it. It stings. And underneath the sting is something you've never felt about a home before. It's yours to fix because it's yours. The system starts treating you differently. Your name is on a deed now, and a county record attached to an asset. The mailbox fills with offers, refinance, home equity line, a credit card with a limit that would have been a fantasy 3 years ago. The same institutions that wanted a cosigner now want your business. You didn't get smarter. You got collateral. A year passes, the house is worth $40,000 more. You didn't do anything. The market, they say, the same market that raised your rent for nothing, now raises your worth for nothing. The only difference is which side of the asset you're standing on. You drive past your old apartment, a light is on in the window that used to be yours. They're paying $1,750 now. You looked it up. They're paying down a mortgage. Maybe even somebody's second one. You're not a renter anymore at level 5. You're the thing renters are quietly paying for. Level 6, the landlord. You buy a second property, not to live in, to rent out. The words feel strange in your mouth the first time. My tenant. You used to be the noun, now you own it. You set the rent. You pick the number that covers the mortgage and leaves a little on top. But the little on top has a name now. Cash flow. You open an LLC, so the building isn't in your name, it's in an entity's. You learned words you never needed as a renter. Equity, appreciation, depreciation, which means the government pays you to own something while it climbs in value. The tax code, it turns out, was written in a language only owners are taught to read. An application comes in. You're holding the screen now. A name, an income, a score, 640. You feel something complicated. You remember that number. You remember the small thing a mouth does when it sees it. You catch your own mouth starting to do it. You ask for first, last, and security, not because you're cruel, because the spreadsheet says to, because the loan on this building has a date, and the date doesn't care about anyone's story. You learn the thing nobody tells you at the bottom. The landlord was never angry at you. The landlord was just doing math with your life as a variable. You don't pay rent at level 6, you price it. Level 7, the investor. 1 unit becomes 4, 4 becomes 11. You don't fix toilets anymore. You hire a property manager who fixes toilets, or more honestly, who ignores the same request you once submitted on your behalf for a fee. You stop seeing faces, you see units, occupancy, turnover. A vacancy isn't a person leaving a home. It's a number moving the wrong way for 30 days. You don't mean to think like this. The scale just does it to you. 11 doors can't be 11 stories. They have to become one spreadsheet or you never sleep. The bank that once wanted a cosigner flies a man out to discuss a credit line against your equity. He calls it a portfolio loan. He uses your first name. He asks about your goals. The same institution, the same kind of person, a different chair. You raise rents across all 11 units by 4% in one afternoon from a laptop in a coffee shop. 11 households rearrange their whole year because of a decision you made between 2 sips. You don't see the stain shaped like a country anymore. You see a line item called make ready. You don't see the $9 snake. You see a maintenance budget. The distance between you and the bottom isn't the money. It's that you can no longer feel the floor you used to stand on. You're not a landlord at level 7, you're a system, and systems don't have faces. Level 8, the proprietor. You buy the building, not a unit in it. The building, 40 doors, a doorman who learns your name and not the names of the people who live there. You walk through the lobby and people straighten slightly the way you once straightened for someone you've now become. The deal doesn't happen at a counter. It happens in a conference room with no logo on the door. A broker, a lawyer, a lender, and a number with 6 zeros. Nobody mentions the people inside the building. They're called occupancy. They're a percentage that makes the loan safe. The fuller the building, the cheaper your money. Full buildings are trustworthy. The people are just proof the asset works. Then you see the address on the closing documents. You know the street. You live 2 blocks from here in a 600 square foot box with eggshell walls back when a $50 fee and a 640 decided whether you'd be let in. You're the name 300 people are nervous about now. You're the one the lease was written to protect. You don't have a home at level 8. You have everyone else's. Somewhere on the 3rd floor, a unit is turning over. A young person is standing in an empty apartment that isn't theirs yet. The agent hands them a form and a pen. The form costs $50. They run a credit score. A mouth does a small thing. A deposit gets set just high enough to hurt and just low enough to pay. You are the same person who couldn't get $5,600 together. Same score, same story nobody read. You didn't get smarter. You didn't get kinder. You crossed a line that has nothing to do with who you are and everything to do with which side of the lease your name is printed on. The landlord was never your enemy. The lease was. And the lease only ever had one signature it was built to protect. For years, it just wasn't yours. The building doesn't care who you are. The building cares who holds the deed. The market doesn't reward the good tenant. It rewards the owner. The system doesn't change when you reach the top. You just finally read the page they made you sign at the bottom.